What up? What up? What up, man? It's your boy King Moses live from the porch, man. And it's been a lot of stuff going on, man. I've been not too much out the loop or whatever, but you know, what I mean, it's been a minute since I've been able to do some talks on the porch or whatever. You feel what I'm saying? You know, I've been doing a little couple short videos or whatever. So you know, what I mean, y'all check them out if y'all haven't or whatever. If you don't, then it's all good or whatever. But you know, what I mean, I'm still out here praying for these kids and seeing a lot of rigmarole out here and speaking on it as much as I can. You know what I mean? Been moving and grooving as far as life or whatever, but you know what I mean, want to take some time to just, break a little bit stuff down or whatever, man. But today, you know what I mean, I want to talk about protecting your peace, man. And you know, I'm always talking to the fellas or whatever, specifically the kids or whatever, and that message is, for them because, men, we've gone through it or whatever as far as like heartbreaks, betrayal, bad experiences with women. And life is your best teacher. So you get that experience, and it's dependent on the person to adjust how they move from each interaction that they come about. So the older that you get, the more experience that you hope to have, and you kind of craft a way to maneuver or deal with certain situations. Now, some deal with it better than others, um, and some, no matter how old you get, still can't figure it out. But you want to have a blueprint or give options to the youngins that are in this weird generation right now of gypsification and people with these BBL brain cells. And what I mean by BBL brain cells is just artificial common sense. People just doing dumb stuff, just saying stuff for reaction or engagement that they don't really mean, or they really do believe it and they're just totally ignorant. And they're cool with being ignorant because it brings attention to them. But this is what people do. So this is just a weird era. So they might be told information that sounds like the truth because it's today's truth, but that's not what it's supposed to be. And maybe they might struggle on navigating through those tough processes because they don't really have a blueprint. They don't really have a guide on how to deal with certain stuff. Especially, like I said, if you're young, you're only going to learn or know what you see, and the majority of it get influenced by what they see from on the social media, Al Gore's internet, the TikTok, or sadly they see their OGs or older folks acting like gypsies or having BBL brain cells. And when we talk about the BBL brain cells, I think it's a lot of stuff with the chemicals that's going on. I mean, you got these older dudes getting that Beijing and that false spray in their hair, whatever, messing up their brain cells. You know what I mean? You got these women with these lace fronts, these big ass eyelashes or whatever, that's all messing up their membrane and their thought processes. And all the they smoking that hookah and them vapes or whatever. All this is is affecting what's going on out here in this world. That I feel it plays a part in it. But I'm just here to just kind of give some perspective or whatever on, what I mean, not even just how it should be, but how to navigate as best as possible through this current era that some people are just not understanding. So my advice is to protect yourself at all times, just like boxing. You could be the best fighter in the world. You can have the best strategy, best game plan, and the person that you're fighting might not have a moral obligation to play fair or fight fair. So you got to make sure that you protect yourself at all times. So it could be a situation where you ain't looking or whatever, or after the break or whatever, you get hit with a low blow. So in order to win the fight or make sure you don't lose the fight, you have to protect yourself at all times. So now you have to be mindful that, hey, the person I'm going up against potentially could be dirty. So let me make sure that I watch myself and protect myself so I don't get hurt. dealing with this dirty fighter. That's what young dudes and dudes in general have to have that mindset when you're out here dating, you know, dealing with girls or whatever, women, ladies, however you want to categorize it. And the problem is a lot of dudes don't have that mentality. They're all on what can I do to please the woman? I'm going to do more for the woman than for my own self. And then when they do above and beyond for the appeasement of said lady, and they don't get that reciprocation, or they get rejected, or you know it gets accepted, and then the women pull a move on them, and they don't want them no more, or they try to play them, then that's when dudes get hurt, and it breaks down their self-esteem, and takes out uh, their swagger, their confidence in going on and dealing with life and dealing with other women. So if you're mentally prepared for that and you protect yourself at all times, when people come with the bullshit or whatever, you can already sense that, okay, well, they just saying this because it's a defense mechanism. It ain't working on me. I'm foam posite material. What you throwing on me bouncing right off. That ain't nothing. And me walking away or me not dealing with you is going to hurt more than your insults or your actions that you've done to me. That's how it should go. But again, it takes practice and it takes a training to have that mentality. And a lot of dudes don't have it. So I ran across this clip about, some gypsy, recording this dude that she was with or whatever, and, kind of putting him out there and doing all this. And here's a crazy thing too, whatever. When you go on these videos, when you see this and see these comments, there's no accountability towards these women for doing these men wrong. There's no accountability, and there's no type of, man, that's messed up, man, how can we stop this or whatever. It's just like, oh well, it's a woman, it's all good, he probably deserved it, or he's a man, he'll get over it, so it is what it is, we don't really care. On the flip side, if this was a man doing this to a woman, all hell would break loose. So again, men have to be mindful. Y'all really got to study the game. Study the game. Young men, y'all got to study the game. You're always going to be looked at as the villain, and you got to be ready to embrace that or whatever and move accordingly as best as possible. And when it comes to time where you're in the quote unquote victim stage, you're not going to get any pity from anybody because you are a man. That's how powerful we are, and that's how much of a threat that we are to society as a whole, specifically a black man. So y'all got to be mindful of that. But I'm gonna play this clip or whatever and get my reaction or whatever, and see what's going on.
Have I ever heard it you?
No, because you ain't got a big enough dick. Your dick ain't big enough to hurt me, nigga. I've been telling you that for years.
Now, before we get into the rest of this, whatever, first of all, this is nasty work, right? So, men, and again, I'm all with the pointing out the stage skit shit or whatever. This looks pretty real, right? But, it could be staged and very good acting. But let's go with the thought process of this is real, because shit like this has happened and can happen and is real. Fellas, men, whenever there is a woman coming in and trying to have a conversation with you, when there's a camera around, that is a red flag. You should walk away. You already know it's going to be some crazy shit or whatever, and you're going to get, or trying to get exposed. They're doing this for attention and clout, and they're trying to break you down. So you should be walking away and not trying to be on camera and not having a conversation, whatever, knowing that you're being recorded and seeing this, because that is clear. And if even if you're going to stay on camera or whatever, then you need to be ready to mess up their whole movie production. You get what I'm saying? However that looks, mess that whole shit up or whatever, and stand on shit like a man. Be on man time. Don't be on some old, making yourself look bad and all this shit, because this shit looks terrible on this video with this dude. Second of all, men have to be mindful of when these women start insulting you, talking about, oh, you got a little dick or whatever, da da da. It's clearly something about you that made them want to be with you, whether it was sexually or not. So you have some type of power over them, whether it's money, whatever the case may be. Clearly, if they couldn't deal with you enough because of your lack of, they wouldn't have been with you in the first place. And even if they were trying to use you for a little bit or whatever, da da da, all you got to do is throw the Uno card, the reverse Uno card back out there. So if they say, "Oh, you had a lot," well, it wasn't that little, whatever. When I was bow flexing you all this time, or maybe you just in it for the money, whatever. Well, then you just a broke broad. You just a whore. You're a prostitute. I own you. I can buy you with money. I made you my slave, my maid, whatever the case may be. You're a paid servant. That's the type of bag that some of you dudes need to get in when these women come with the bullshit. But that's just me.
Is this your first time hearing that? Is this your first time hearing that? Niggas that got women hurt, dick is big.
You gonna really do me like this?
We're done here.
You gonna really do me like this? Long as I've been with you in bed.
Carrie,
Long
we're
all
done
I
here.
did,
Cry in the car. Cry in the car.
You gonna really
be
do
a
this
man.
to me?
Get up off your pussy. Get up off your pussy. And you got to go, dog. Period. Well, this is over with. What man would want to sit around? What man? This over with, dog. This over. Get off your pussy. Nothing.
So that video says a lot. Well, and again, don't want to typecast women as a whole, but you kind of see them type of women and how they are. But again, you have to protect yourself at all times. So men, you can't showcase certain stuff, whatever, because they'll try to throw it back at you, whatever. Where if you try to be emotional and all that stuff, whatever, and caring and all that stuff, even though women say that they want that, they don't know the levels of what that looks like or whatever. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you're emotional and sharing or whatever, then you're a pussy, right? But then if you really just don't do none of that shit or whatever, and you just on man time and just straight nigga shit or whatever, just treating them like shit, or just very cold and just like whatever, then they complain like, yo, you're not there for me emotionally, blah blah blah, whoop-de whoop. So again, you have to protect yourself at all times. You have to be willing to be able to stay in a lane that works for you and what's best for you first before worrying about somebody else. And also, you have to make sure that you're willing to walk away if need be and still be happy and hold your head up, because you have to know your worth. If you don't know your worth and you feel that, man, if I leave, I'm not going to be nothing, I'm not going to be able to meet nobody else, I can't survive without this person or whatever, then you're stuck. And men should look at the mirror every day and say, I'm that nigga, I'm that person, I am the catch, I am good, I am, even if I don't meet another woman in my life or whatever, I'm still going to be fine, I'm still going to be me. But a lot of dudes ain't, man. And a lot of dudes don't have that training and that mental capacity to have that confidence because they weren't guided and you ran into the wrong people, whatever, that tore you down or whatever and gave you this fairy tale lifestyle that you are what you are because somebody else told you, not because of your own self-reflection. So I pray for these kids that they don't run into these gypsy Jezebel bedwenches that make them feel bad because they not doing all this wild, horny, corny shit. That they're not out here being super freakazoid trick babies because a woman told them to. I want young men to be able to dictate what goes on and the women follow suit. And if they don't like it, then they can go ahead and find that other batch of dudes that they say that they really don't like, but they want them monetarily because they want the materialistic shit. But I want to get back to that point where the men, the young men, set the standards. Whatever that looks like. If you want to do certain things, it's because you want to do it, not because a woman made you do it or a woman told you to do it. But that's just me, man. But again, protect yourself at all times, man. And let me know what y'all think, man. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that other stuff or whatever. You know my motto, man. This is for the know, not the show. It's your boy King Moses, live from the porch. I'm going to pray for these kids, man.